Have you ever noticed how some people seem to attract success effortlessly, while others struggle endlessly? The difference isn't luck. It isn't circumstances. And it certainly isn't some secret formula hidden away in an ancient tomb. The difference lies in something far more powerful, yet completely within your control, your mind. Every morning, millions wake up to chase success. They work hard, they push themselves. They do everything society tells them they should do, yet somehow that breakthrough moment keeps eluding them because they're trying to reach their destination using a broken compass. Your mind is that compass, and today we're going to fix it. Success isn't just about what you do. It's about who you become in the process, and who you become starts with how you think. Let me share something profound with you. Your current reality is nothing but a printout of your mental programming. Everything you see around you, your relationships, your bank account, your health, your achievements, they're all manifestations of what's happening between your ears. You see, most people live their entire lives never realizing they're operating on someone else's program. Their fears, downloaded from their parents, their limitations, installed by their teachers, their beliefs about money, programmed by society. And here's the tragic part. They're using these borrowed programs to try and build their own success story. But today, right here, right now, we're going to change that. We're going to dive deep into the control room of your mind and start making some serious adjustments. Because once you understand how to reprogram your mind, you'll realize that success isn't something you chase. It's something you attract by the person you become. Start with the first fundamental truth. Your mind doesn't know the difference between what's real and what's vividly imagined. When you worry about something, your body responds with stress hormones as if the threat were real. When you visualize success vividly, your brain starts creating neural pathways as if you've already achieved it. This isn't some new age philosophy. This is hard science. Think about it. Why do some people stay calm during a crisis while others panic? Why do some see opportunities and problems while others only see obstacles? Same external situation, completely different internal response. That's the power of mental programming. But here's where it gets really interesting. Your brain is constantly rewiring itself based on your thoughts and experiences. Scientists call this neuroplasticity. I call it your ticket to transformation. Every thought you think, every belief you hold, every story you tell yourself is either reinforcing your current programming or creating new pathways for success. Let me ask you something. When was the last time you questioned your own thinking? When did you last stop and ask yourself, why do I believe what I believe? Who taught me to think this way about money, about success, about my own capabilities? Most people never ask these questions. They're too busy running on the hamster wheel of life, wondering why they're not getting anywhere. But you're different. You're here because something inside you knows there's more. You're here because you're ready to take control of your mental software. Consider this. If you plant a seed in fertile soil, provide it with water and sunlight, it has no choice but to grow. It's a law of nature. Similarly, if you plant the right thoughts in your mind and nurture them with consistent action, success has no choice but to manifest. It's not philosophy, it's psychology. But let's get real for a moment. This journey isn't going to be easy. Reprogramming your mind is like renovating a house while you're still living in it. It's messy. It's uncomfortable. There will be days when your old programming fights back with everything it's got. That's normal. That's expected. That's part of the process. You see, your current mental programming didn't happen overnight. It's the result of years of accumulated thoughts, beliefs, and experiences. Some of these programs were installed when you were too young to even question them. Like that time someone told you money doesn't grow on trees, or you're not good enough, or be realistic. These phrases might seem harmless, but they're like viruses in your mental operating system, quietly sabotaging your efforts to succeed. But here's the good news. Just as your mind can be programmed for limitation, it can be reprogrammed for success. And once you understand the process, you'll realize it's simpler than you think. Not easier, simpler. There's a difference. The path to success isn't about adding more information to your mind. We're drowning in information already. It's about removing the mental blocks that are holding you back. It's about replacing limiting beliefs with empowering ones. It's about upgrading your mental software to match the level of success you desire. Think about this. Every great achievement in human history started as a thought in someone's mind. The phone in your pocket, the chair you're sitting on, the building you're in, they all started as mental images before becoming physical reality. Your success story is no different. It starts with reprogramming your mind to align with the success you desire. But here's where most people get it wrong. They try to change their results without changing their thinking. That's like trying to download new software while running old programs. It doesn't work. You have to clear the cache first. You have to be willing to question everything you think you know about success. Look around this room. Everyone here has the same basic hardware, a brain capable of extraordinary things. The only difference is the software we're running. Some are running programs of scarcity, fear, and limitation. Others are running programs of abundance, courage, and possibility. The choice of which program to run, that's entirely yours. The first step in reprogramming your mind for success is becoming aware of your current programming. Your thoughts aren't random, they're patterns. And these patterns create your reality. Let me share something powerful with you. For the next few minutes, I want you to pay attention to the voice in your head. You know the one I'm talking about. The voice that's probably saying right now, what voice is he talking about? That voice is your mental narrator, and it never shuts up. It's commenting on everything, judging everything, comparing everything. But here's the critical question. That voice really yours? Or is it a collection of borrowed opinions, inherited fears, and secondhand beliefs? Most people live their entire lives never questioning that voice. They accept its judgments as truth, its fears as reality, its limitations as facts. But that voice isn't you, it's your programming. And once you understand this, everything changes. Let me give you a practical example. When you look in the mirror, what does that voice say? When you're about to take a risk, what does it tell you? When an opportunity presents itself, what's its immediate response? These aren't random thoughts. They're programmed responses. They're like lines of code running in your mental computer. The second step is understanding the power of your attention. Whatever you consistently focus on grows stronger in your mind. It's like watering a plant. What you water grows. What you don't withers away. This isn't positive thinking. This is mental training. You see, your brain has something called the reticular activating system rest. Think of it as your mind's search engine. When you program it to look for opportunities, it finds opportunities. When you program it to look for obstacles, it finds obstacles. Have you ever noticed how when you're thinking about buying a certain car, you suddenly see that car everywhere? That's your raise at work. But here's where it gets really interesting. Your raise doesn't just filter what you see, it filters what you experience. When you program your mind for success, you start noticing opportunities that were always there, but invisible to your old programming. The third step is what I call mental rehearsal. Every great achievement happens twice, first in your mind, then in reality. This isn't daydreaming, this is deliberate mental preparation. Athletes use this technique all the time. Before they step onto the field, they've already played the game countless times in their mind. But most people do the opposite. Instead of rehearsing success, they rehearse failure. They spend hours imagining everything that could go wrong. They play worst-case scenarios on repeat in their minds. And then they wonder why they're not achieving their goals. Let me ask you something. What movie are you playing in your mind? Is it a success story or a tragedy? Is it an adventure or a horror film? Because whatever movie you keep playing, your brain will work to make it your reality. The fourth step is creating new neural pathways through consistent action. Your brain is like a forest. The more you walk a certain path, the clearer and easier it becomes. Every time you take action aligned with your new programming, every time you choose courage over fear, abundance over scarcity, possibility over limitation, you're strengthening that path. But here's the key. These new pathways must be created with intention and emotion. It's not enough to just think different thoughts. You must feel them. Your brain doesn't respond to words as much as it responds to emotions. When you combine clear intention with strong emotion, you create lasting change. This is why affirmations alone often don't work. Saying, "I am successful," while feeling like a failure creates internal conflict, not transformation. The key is to gradually build authentic confidence through small wins, through consistent action, through proving to yourself that your new programming is valid. The fifth step is what I call environmental programming. Your mind is constantly being programmed by your environment. The people you spend time with, the information you consume, the conversations you engage in. Want to know your current programming? Look at your environment. This is why some people can make a decision to change, but their environment pulls them back to their old programming. They try to run new software while staying connected to networks that only support the old operating system. Think about it. How many people in your life truly support your vision? How many challenge you to grow? How many are running the kind of mental software you want to install in your own mind? These aren't comfortable questions, but they're crucial ones. Your mind is like a garden. It will grow whatever you plant in it. But here's the thing about gardens. They don't just grow what you plant. They also grow weeds. These weeds are the negative thoughts, the limiting beliefs, the toxic relationships that sprout up automatically if you're not vigilant. This is why mental reprogramming isn't a one-time event. It's a daily practice. Just like you wouldn't expect your body to stay in shape after one workout, you can't expect your mind to stay programmed for success without consistent maintenance. But here's what makes this journey so extraordinary. As you reprogram your mind, you don't just change your thoughts, you change your entire experience of life. Things that used to trigger stress become opportunities for growth. Obstacles that used to stop you become stepping stones to success. People who used to intimidate you become potential mentors and allies. Remember this, every thought you think is either an investment in success or a payment toward failure. Every belief you hold is either a bridge to your dreams or a barrier to your potential. Every story you tell yourself is either empowering you or imprisoning you. Now let's talk about something that most success teachers never mention, the emotional price of transformation. When you begin to reprogram your mind, you're not just changing thoughts. You're changing your entire identity. And that process can feel like you're losing yourself. You see, your current identity, the way you see yourself, the stories you tell about who you are, has been keeping you safe. It's familiar, it's comfortable, even if it's holding you back. At least it's predictable. When you start to change that identity, everything feels uncertain. Your brain interprets this uncertainty as danger, and that's when the resistance kicks in. This resistance shows up in many forms. Sometimes it's procrastination. Sometimes it's self-sabotage. Sometimes it's that voice in your head getting louder, trying to convince you to go back to your old way. This isn't weakness. This is your brain trying to protect you from what it perceives as a threat to your survival. But here's what you need to understand. This discomfort is not your enemy. It's your ally. It's your ally. It's a sign that you're growing, that you're pushing beyond your current programming. Just like a butterfly must struggle to break free from its cocoon, you must struggle to break free from your old mental patterns. Let me share something profound with you. The reason most people never achieve their full potential isn't that they don't know what to do. It's that they don't know how to handle the emotional journey of transformation. They start with enthusiasm, but when the emotional price becomes due, they retreat to their comfort. Your comfort zone isn't really about comfort. It's about certainty. Your brain craves certainty like your body craves oxygen. That's why it's so easy to stay stuck in patterns that don't serve you. At least they're predictable. At least you know what to expect. But here's the certainty you crave is an illusion. In this rapidly changing world, the only real certainty is uncertainty. The only real security is your ability to adapt, to learn, to grow. And that ability starts with your mental programming. Think about this. Every time you choose growth over comfort, you're rewiring your brain. Every time you push through resistance, you're strengthening your success muscles. Every time you face your fears, you're expanding your comfort zone. This is where most people get stuck. They wait to feel confident before taking action. They wait to feel ready before making a change. They wait to feel certain before taking a risk. But that's not how transformation works. You don't become confident and then take action. You take action and then become confident. Your brain learns through experience, not through information. You can read every success book ever written, attend every seminar, watch every motivational video, but until you start taking action, consistent, committed action, your programming won't change. Let me ask you some. What would you do if you knew you couldn't fail? What goals would you set? What dreams would you pursue? What actions would you take? Now, here's the real question. What's stopping you? Is it really external circumstances, or is it your mental programming? You see, most people live in a prison of their own making. The walls are built from limiting beliefs. The bars are made of fear, and the locks are their own excuses. But here's the fascinating, the door's always been unlocked. You can walk out anytime you choose to challenge your current programming. But walking out requires courage, not the absence of fear, but the willingness to move forward despite it. It requires you to question everything you've been taught about success, about capability, about what's possible for you. Think about the most successful people you know. What makes them different? Is it their talents, their circumstances, their luck? No, it's their programming. They've programmed their minds to see opportunities where others see obstacles, to find solutions where others find excuses, to take action where others take shelter. This is why two people can face the same situation and get completely different results. One sees a crisis, the other sees an opportunity. One retreats in fear, the other advances with purpose. Same external reality, different internal programming. Your programming determines not just what you do, but how you do it. It affects your energy, your enthusiasm, your resilience. Have you ever noticed how some people seem to have boundless energy for pursuing their goals while others get exhausted just thinking about change? That's not about physical energy. It's about mental programming. When your actions align with your programming, they energize you. When they don't, they drain. This is why some people can work 18 hours a day on their dreams and feel energized, while others can't work 2 hours without feeling exhausted. But here's something crucial you need to understand. Your current programming isn't your fault, but it is your responsibility. You didn't choose the initial programming you received from your family, your education, your society, but you can choose to change it. This is where personal power comes from. Not from blaming others for your current programming, but from taking responsibility for your future programming. Not from denying your past, but from deciding your future.
Yeah.
The reprogramming process requires patience. Your current programming took years to install. It won't be replaced overnight. But here's the beautiful thing. You don't have to wait until the reprogramming is complete to start seeing results. Every small shift in your thinking creates a shift in your reality. Think of it like turning a large ship. A 1 degree shift in direction might not seem like much at first, but over time, it leads to a completely different destination. Your thoughts are like that ship's rudder. Small changes in your mental programming today create massive changes in your life's direction over time. Let's talk about something that most people never consider. The power of your morning programming. The first hour of your day is like the first line of code in a computer program. It sets the pattern for everything that follows. Yet most people start their day by programming their minds with worry, stress, and other people's agendas. They wake up and immediately check their phones, flooding their minds with messages, news, and social media. Before they've even gotten out of bed, they've downloaded other people's problems, other people's priorities, other people's programming. And then they wonder why they feel overwhelmed, distracted, and off track. Your morning routine isn't just about productivity. It's about programming. Every thought you entertain in those first waking moments is like a seed planted in fertile soil. What seeds are you planting? Are they seeds of possibility or limitation? Seeds of gratitude or complaint? Seeds of purpose? This is why successful people guard their morning routine like a fortress. They understand that how you start your day determines how you live your day, and how you live your day determines how you live your life. But let's go deeper. Your morning programming isn't just about what you do. It's about who you're becoming. When you start your day with intention, with purpose, with clarity, you're not just programming your day for success. You're programming your identity for transformation. Think about this. Every morning, you have a choice. You can wake up and reinforce your old programming, or you can wake up and install new programming. You can let your past determine your future, or you can let your vision determine your future. The choice is yours, but you must make it consciously. This brings us to something crucial: the power of your questions. The quality of your life is determined by the quality of your questions. Most people ask themselves disempowering questions. Why does this always happen to me? Why can't I get ahead? Why is life so hard? In their minds, like faithful servants, find answers to support these questions. But what if you changed your questions? What if, instead of asking, why me, you asked, what's the opportunity here? Instead of, why can't I, you asked, how can I? Instead of, what could go wrong, you asked, what could go right? Different questions create different programs, and different programs create different results. Your mind is like a search engine. It will find answers to whatever questions you ask. Ask better questions, get better answers. Program better questions into your daily routine. Create better results in your life. But here's where most people get stuck. They try to change their programming while staying in the same environment. That's like trying to download new software while connected to an old network. Your environment either supports your new programming or sabotages. Look around your life right now. What messages are you surrounding yourself with? What conversations are you regularly having? What images, sounds, and energy are you exposing your mind to? Everything in your environment is either programming you for success or programming you for failure. This is why changing your physical environment can accelerate your mental reprogramming. When you change what you see, hear, and experience daily, you change the inputs your brain uses to create your reality. Consider this: your brain processes millions of bits of information every second, but you're only consciously aware of a tiny fraction. The rest gets processed subconsciously, creating patterns, beliefs, and behaviors without your awareness. This is why environment matters so much. It's programming you, whether you realize it or not. But here's the keys. You don't have to change everything at once. Start with your morning environment. Create a space that supports your new programming. Fill it with reminders of your goals, your vision, your potential. Make it a sanctuary for your transformation. Now let's talk about something that few people understand: the role of physical movement in mental reprogramming. Your mind and body are not separate systems. They're one integrated system. When you change your physiology, you change your psychology. Have you ever noticed how your thinking changes when you exercise? How problems that seemed overwhelming become manageable after a walk. How solutions appear when you get your body moving. That's not coincidence. That's science. Physical movement literally changes your brain chemistry, making it more receptive to new programming. This is why sustained transformation requires both mental and physical engagement. You can't just think your way to new programming, you must embody it. Your posture, your breathing, your movement patterns, they're all either reinforcing your old programming or supporting your new programming. If you think about how successful people carry themselves, notice their posture, their gestures, their energy. They're not just thinking successfully, they're embodying success. Their physical presence is aligned with their mental programming. But here's something crucial in it. This alignment doesn't happen by accident. It happens through conscious, consistent practice. It happens when you decide to make every moment an opportunity for reprogramming, not just your thoughts, but your entire being. This brings us to another powerful truth. Your words program your mind. The language you use, both in your internal dialogue and your external communication, creates patterns in your brain. When you change your language, you change your programming. Because people use language that reinforces their limitations. I'll try, maybe, I hope, I should. These words create weak programming. They leave escape routes for failure. They program uncertainty instead of confidence, hesitation instead of action. Compare that to empowered language. I will, I commit, I am. These words create strong programming. They close the back doors to failure. They program certainty, commitment, and action into your neural pathways. Now we come to perhaps the most crucial aspect of mental reprogramming, the power of decision. Not the kind of casual decisions we make every day, but the deep, soul-level decisions that change the course of our lives. The kind of decisions that burn all bridges back to old programming and force us to move forward. You see, most people never make real decisions. They make wishes, hopes, preferences. But a true decision cuts off all other possibilities. The word decision comes from Latin, meaning to cut off. When you truly decide to reprogram your mind for success, you cut off all possibilities of returning to old patterns. Think about this. Every major breakthrough in human history came after someone made a decision. They decided that the old way wasn't good enough. They decided that change wasn't just possible, it was necessary. They decided that the price of staying the same was greater than the price of change. But here's what makes a real decision so powerful. It's not about having all the answers. It's not about knowing exactly how you'll get there. It's about committing to the outcome while being flexible about the process. Your old programming wants certainty before commitment. Your new programming creates certainty through commitment. When you make a real decision, something extraordinary happens in your brain. Neural pathways begin reorganizing themselves to support your decision. Resources you didn't know you had become available. Opportunities you couldn't see before suddenly become visible. This isn't magic. Let me warn you about some. The moment you make a real decision to change your programming, life will test your commitment. It's as if the universe wants to know, are you serious about this? Or is this just another empty promise to yourself? These tests will come in many forms. Sometimes they'll come as setbacks that tempt you to return to old patterns. Sometimes they'll come as opportunities that tempt you to compromise your standards. Sometimes they'll come as people who try to pull you back to your old programming. This is where most people fail. Not because they lack capability, but because they lack commitment. They let temporary setbacks become permanent excuses. They let momentary failures become lifetime limitations. They let other people's doubts become their own beliefs. But you're different. You're here because something inside you knows it's time for a change. Something inside you is tired of living below your potential. Something inside you is ready to break free from old programming and step into new possibilities. Remember this, your old programming will fight to survive. It will use every trick it knows. Fear, doubt, guilt, shame, to keep you in your comfort zone. It will remind you of past failures. It will show you all the reasons why change is dangerous. It will try to convince you that you're not ready, not worthy, not capable. But that voice isn't you. It's your old programming fighting for survival. And the louder it gets, the more you know you're on the right track. Because your old programming doesn't fight back when you're staying small. It only fights when you're growing beyond it. This journey of reprogramming your mind isn't just about achieving success. It's about becoming who you were meant to be. It's about removing the limitations that were programmed into you and reconnecting with your true potential. You see, success isn't something you pursue. It's something you attract by the person you become. And who you become is determined by how you program your mind. Every thought you think, every word you speak, every action you take is either moving you towards your potential or keeping you trapped in old patterns. Think about the people who have achieved extraordinary success in any field. What sets them apart isn't just their actions, it's their programming. They've programmed their minds to see possibilities where others see problems. They've programmed their minds to find solutions where others find excuses. They've programmed their minds to take action where others take shelter. But here's the most beautiful truth about mental reprogramming. It's not just about you. As you upgrade your mental software, you automatically upgrade the possibilities for everyone around you. Your transformation becomes an invitation for others to transform. Your growth becomes permission for others to grow. When you break free from limiting programming, you show others what's possible. When you refuse to be defined by your past, you give others permission to rewrite their future. When you step into your potential, you light the way for others to find their path. This is why the decision you make today isn't just about your success. It's about your legacy. It's about the ripple effect your transformation will have on your family, your community, your world. It's about breaking the chain of limiting programming that has been passed down through generations. The time for half measures is over. The time for trying is past. The time for real transformation is now. Your mind is waiting to be reprogrammed. Your potential is waiting to be unleashed. Your future is waiting to be created. Right now, in this moment, you have a choice. You can continue running your old programming and get the same results you've always gotten. Or you can decide, truly decide, to upgrade your mental software and step into new possibilities. The tools are in your hands. The knowledge is in your mind. The power is in your decision. All that's left is for you to choose. Will you continue living with programming that limits you, or will you step into the transformation that awaits you? Remember, every moment is a chance to reprogram your mind. Every challenge is an opportunity to strengthen your new programming. Every setback is a setup for a breakthrough, but only if you decide, really decide, to make the change. Your future is not determined by your past programming. Your potential is not limited by your current circumstances. Your success is not controlled by external conditions. All of these are determined by one thing and one thing, only the programs running in your mind. The decision is yours. The time is now. The transformation awaits.